So we're still trying to gather a bigger picture as to exactly what the intended target location was. I'm going to bring Mark back up here to talk about, a little bit more about maybe what some of that rhetoric was. But we're still looking into exactly what that scope of threats, that threat picture was.
Yeah, thank you for your question. So I can confirm there has been a manifesto that's been recovered. I would reiterate it's early on in the investigation. We are dedicating every resource the FBI has to conduct a thorough analysis of that manifesto to try to learn what led to this, but I think also more importantly, how can we stop future attacks? So I know there's a lot of questions related to this on the community. What I would just continue to reiterate is they didn't discriminate on who they hated. It covered a wide aspect of races and religions.
More than just the Islamic people in that church.
Correct.
No.
Correct.
But Special Agent, they nevertheless, in a city that's majority white, specifically picked out a site where they knew there would be immigrants, where they knew there would be Muslims. That doesn't seem to suggest respectfully that they hated everybody equally.
I would say we're still too early in the investigation to say that the Islamic Center of San Diego was the specific target. We are assessing and analyzing all the evidence. Again, it's very early. We're still looking through electronics to give us the answers. But again, what I can say is they definitely had a broad hatred towards a lot of folks.
What have you
Are
learned from
are
their
you
social
aware of the
media?
suspects live streaming the attack for their own death?
I'm aware of that information, and again, not a lot I can share at this point because we're actively going through those electronics. We just recently got search warrants in place, so we are digging into that as aggressively and as quickly as we can.
To the extent that you're able, can you characterize their deaths?
I can't really. I apologize. Yeah.
You mentioned that they were radicalized online. Can you talk more about that? Is that going through their computers, their laptops, their phones? What can you tell us about that?
We're still going through, again, all that information, but what we do believe is that they met online, and through the course of that online communication, they discovered that they were both residing in the San Diego area, and they became acquaintances or associates and had in-person contact at that point. But in terms of how the radicalization occurred, we're still digging into all that.
I know that you got a call yesterday from one of the suspects' mothers. Have you been in touch? How much have you been in touch with the other suspect's family?
I want to be sensitive with what I share at this point. We are getting a lot of information from a lot of people, and so it's an ongoing. I know the community has a lot of questions, and we want to share and be as transparent as we can, but understanding we also have to be sensitive to the investigation and the victims and the witnesses we're talking with. So when the time is right, we'll absolutely share as much as we can.
Are you able to confirm which mother called the 17-year-olds or the 18-year-olds?
Yeah, we can. So the younger suspect's mom is the one that called.
If I could I ask the imam a question?
Yes, please.
You talked about how the Islamic Center became far too familiar with receiving hate, that you've taken all of these steps to protect the building, including hiring Amin. And the first question would be, how many years ago had you hired him?
Amin, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was hired sometime in 2019, 2020.
Quite some time.
Yeah.
It's also very clear by the actions that he took, immediately getting things on lockdown, that this was something that he and the center had planned for. Is this something that you had talked to him about?
Yeah. We do a drill, test every time, especially with the school, multiple times every school year. So he knew about the system of notifying the teachers in their classrooms in case of an active shooter, and he just implemented what he knows about the system. So, yeah.
Surely when you're going through all those drills, though, you're not necessarily thinking it could be real.
Of course. I mean, as I talked to some of the teachers yesterday, they told me, our experience today, which means yesterday, was totally different than the drills that we have done before. So it's obviously it's different.
That sounds like Amin did everything.
But it worked, I mean, the lives of the kids were saved. The life of everyone in the school were saved. And we are so grateful for that.
And how are the victims' families doing today?
They are at shock. This morning they started showing up to pick up some staff of their kids, and even also the teachers. Some of the teachers showed up to pick up some stuff from their classrooms. So they canceled, the Islamic school canceled school the rest of this week and next week.